Hello everyone. Today's book is for you. If you like a good story about a haunting, something that is gothic, something that is creepy, but something that adds something new to that genre and gives it some unique, clever, modern day twists, this is a book you don't want to miss if you're into any of that, and why wouldn't you be? But first, as always, I want to remind you that I have books for sale. And if you want to read any of the books you see on your screen, there is a link in the description that'll take you right there. All right, let's get started. So the book I want to talk about today is called The Briars by Stephanie Parent. This is her debut novel, but this is kind of like a modern day Shirley Jackson-esque kind of book. It's very gothic and very compelling, and adds some new elements to the trope of a haunted building that really makes it effective. This book is about a place called the Briars. This is set in modern day Los Angeles, and the Briars is basically a commercial BDSM dungeon. And there are several women that work this trade in this building called the Briars. But everybody knows, all the employees know, that this building is haunted. But it's haunted by a past owner, the woman who actually started it many years ago. And she is a benevolent kind of ghost, I guess you can say. She looks over the girls and the property. And so it's not a scary ghost at all. Nobody feels any harm coming from her. It's almost like a parental relationship where she is taking care of the girls that now work there. They have a special room off one of the other rooms, up some stairs near an attic, that they dedicate to her. They believe that that's where she lives, if a ghost can actually live anywhere. And they be sure to leave things for her that she likes, and flowers and light candles and things like that. But a new girl comes to work there one day, a younger girl. She seems very, very shy, very soft-spoken. She explains that because of things that happened in her past, she's not even quite sure which country she's from. She has an accent, but nobody can pinpoint it. She doesn't seem to know. And a lot of the girls think she's not going to make it in an environment like this. But she does. She takes to it. And we'll get there later in the book. But for some reason, after her arrival, this benevolent, nice spirit who looks over these women turns into something much scarier, something that seems to be attacking the women, trying to cause them harm. And this ghost just does a complete 180 in its attitude, as far as they know. Cryptic messages written in what looks like blood on the mirrors in some of the rooms. Water will start running when nobody's there, overflowing, causing not only damage to the property, but also the chance of electrocution. And things begin to escalate as it goes on, to the point where it's not just the building that's being affected, but this spirit is manipulating the minds of both some of the employees and some of the clients, that they will do things in their sessions that normally would be off limits, because this is an illegal BDSM commercial dungeon, and there are certain rules that have to be adhered to. But under the influence of the spirit, things go too far, and that fine line between pleasure and pain definitely starts leading more to the side of pain and humiliation than it does anything else. And there will be some deaths involved, deaths which can be ruled as natural causes, although we know as the reader these things are due to this spirit and her manipulations. But here's the thing in this book that really has the most impact for me, I think, amidst this creepy Gothic setting. And that is the the characters, the female characters in this book, they are not weak playthings of men. They are very modern women. They're very independent and strong women. They do this kind of work because it gives them pleasure, and they can make really good money. And because of the rule of no actual sexual penetration or anything in these dungeons, they're not really putting themselves at too much risk. And our main character used to be a ballerina. She has a boyfriend who knew about her job when they got together, but now, a few years on, he's pushing her away from it. He doesn't like the idea now of men ogling her and doing these things to her like he once did. So she's conflicted about that because she really has nothing else to do. How else is she going to make money? How else is she going to live without having to rely on him alone? And there's also a dominatrix, and she is stern and very intimidating, as a good dominatrix should be. And our main character in this dominatrix seem to be complete opposites, but during the course of the book, they are going to form a bond that could be the key to unlocking the mysteries behind what happened with this ghost, and why did it turn from being protective to harmful to the girls. And it's in these relationships between these women. It's almost kind of like a naturally occurring coming out story for like the main protagonist, because she's always found women attractive, but she never thought of them in a sexual way. She always assumed and thought she was just a straight woman. But both of these women hold some very dark secrets that they have not shared with anybody. Things in their past that could be the key to figuring out the goings on at the Briars and how they can be stopped. And as their relationship blossoms and it turns into a romance and these secrets are shared with each other, they find a certain amount of strength in there. And the thing is, this comes naturally throughout the book. It doesn't just happen all of a sudden. Our main character looks at this other woman and goes, "Oh, I'm a lesbian." It's not exploitative. It's not anything like that. It's a natural thing that happens over the course of time. These two women who seem to be completely opposite, but they do share some things in common that they'll find out about. And watching that blossom was really a joy. One of the things about this book I really loved, because not only was it done in such a way that it didn't feel, it didn't feel like it was being pushed on you. It just happened so naturally. And the strength of these two women together is really what's going to be the thing that pushes toward the answers about what's going on there. But yeah, this is a fantastic book. It's gothic, it's very creepy. You never know who's going to live, who's going to die, because things are going to happen under the influence of this ghost. So none of the characters ever feel safe while they are there. And we're going to find out the secret about this new girl, what she has to do with these happenings, if anything at all. And that's a whole nother story in itself. So there's mystery upon mystery. There's this great romantic angle. And because it's set in a BDSM dungeon, you might think this book might be a little sexually explicit. But no, there are scenes of intimacy in that environment, but I didn't find it, it was not erotica at all. I didn't find it, sexual. It wasn't too titillating. It's basically very clinical and businesslike, what these women have to do to make their money, how they go about it, and the different fetishes that some of their clients have and how they fulfill those fetishes. So a book that could have easily been exploitative in several regards turns out to just be written in such a way that it just feels all natural. You don't feel any of that cringy things like you might read in some books when dealing with a subject like this. And I really love how the females in this book are the strong ones. They're not just written as weak characters, as prey for this evil spirit. You know, they will fight back. So I definitely recommend the Briars to you. If you love a good old ghost story that's filled with mystery, filled with tension, give you the creeps, and in a setting like you've never read about before in a horror, in a story like this, definitely pick this one up. There is a link down below where you can purchase your copy on Amazon, and I highly recommend that you do. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time, spending it here with me, and until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.